Okay,
OP.
welcome to OKOP Scaries, where we tell you the scariest stories on Reddit.
This is a part of our series Counting Down to Halloween. Every episode, the stories get scarier.
My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. 4 years ago, my brother went missing. There was nothing to prompt it. At 24, he was a good guy. He got top marks in school and uni, stayed clean, was very well built, and had only one girlfriend who he was still dating up until the time he went missing. I say good, in quotes, because he was horrible to me. And being a pathological liar and a master at manipulation, he got away with practically torturing me for years. He was 10 years older than me, and it never stopped. I got seriously injured from him up until the day he went missing. He always told me he hated me and enjoyed every bit of pain he put me through.
Oh my God.
Tried telling people when I was younger, but everyone believed him, never me. Eventually, I stopped trying. The day he went missing was the greatest and most satisfying day I ever lived. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. His car was still parked in the driveway. His wallet and phone were on his desk, and his keys in the bowl by the entrance. Police had very little to go off of. It was like he simply vanished. After a year or so, everyone but my mom gave up on the search for him, figuring him to be dead. She, like any good mother, remained hopeful. Everyone else knew better. I knew better. He showed up early in the morning, dropped off by a mysterious black sedan with tinted windows in the front of the house, according to the CCTV. We couldn't catch the license plate, and he had no idea where the car came from or where it went. My brother came out in the same clothes he went missing in 4 years earlier. Obviously well-nourished and with his clothes clean, save for an old blackened stain on his chest, which people assumed was from the chili he ate the morning he went missing and the dirt on his shoes. The huge mystery came when he knew absolutely nothing. His memory cut the day he went missing and resumed the second he stepped out of the cab of the car. He thought he was still 24, and honestly could have been. A time skip was not the most outlandish theory of the town. Of course, his room was the same. My mom made sure no one touched it when he left for uni. And when he came back and went missing, she did the same thing. She was so convinced that he would return that she allowed no one to move anything. She was devastated and heartbroken. So my dad just went along with it. So did I. The first night he came back, he spent it in the house. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. And if he really came back, I'm in huge danger. I've always had my fun with you, but never got to finish the job, you little shit. I woke up suddenly in the middle of the night to him standing at the foot of my bed.
Oh shit.
He was looking down at me with a huge grin on his face. Literally, it was a huge grin,
Oh God.
curling way too unnaturally and twice as large as a normal mouth, as if the corners were cut open with a razor. My lamp was knocked over by my door and was under him, leaving the light shining up towards him, creating shadows going up towards his face, leaving black areas between his eyebrows and his cheekbones for both eyes. Although they were in void, the eyes were still visible somehow. It was as if they were emitting a soft light underneath the surface. They were glassy, glazed over, completely lacking of blood and life. He was still wearing that same shirt and the pants he went missing in. And the stain on his shirt looked menacing in the light. It looked oozing, pulsing, crawling, as if filled with worms and maggots. His hands and arms were at his side, swaying gently with rage. In his right hand was a knife that looked sickly familiar. I knew that knife all too well. He moved his arm to hold his knife above his head. He lunged toward me from the end of the bed before I could form any words or cries for help in my mouth. And just as the knife was about to plunge into my chest, I woke up. I jolted in my bed, sitting upright, blood pumping with icy cold liquid coming from a heart frozen in terror. Felt cold and hot at the same time, feeling nauseous and shaking everywhere. I began to feel bile forming from my throat. So I moved my feet to the side of my bed and go to the bathroom. That's when I noticed it. There was that knife laying on the floor
Oh wow.
and the lamp at the foot of my bed. Maybe it wasn't a dream. At this point, I run to the bathroom to do my business, and I'm done. I'm still shaking, so I splash water on my face with cool water. Seems to do the trick for a little, so I head back to my bed. The door was closed, which was wrong since I left it open to go to the bathroom, using the light from my room to navigate the hall. I walk in to see him back in my room. this time sitting on my desk chair next to my bed, twirling that same knife on his fingertip. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger. I stood there, still frozen before the fight or flight response kicked in. I was going to kill you the night I went missing, he said, with the same unnatural grin on his face, with way too many teeth. But obviously, you knew that. Now, the response kicked in. I hightailed it out of there, slammed the door shut behind me to buy me some time, as I heard something inside the room shuffle to its feet. I bolted down the stairs to the front door, ready to grab my keys and spend the night anywhere else but here. As I put my hand in the bowl, I felt a lifeless, cold hand already there. Looking for these, little shit? He asked slyly. He was dangling the keys in front of me, and I was briefly left wondering, how the fuck did he get here before me? How the fuck is he even here? The thought took only 1 nanosecond before I ran from the door, prepared to make the journey on foot. I pushed out the door and started to run for the woods. Yeah, I know it's a horror movie cliche, but that's what I did.
It is.
Yeah. I heard the door open behind me and knew he was close on my heels. I felt the familiar deja vu feeling as I realized the events were almost exactly the same as the night he went missing. He chased me then, too. He didn't have a knife then, though. He thought his fist would be enough. He was wrong. As soon as I stepped into the boundary of the woods where the fateful event occurred, I turned around to see that he wasn't chasing me anymore. Instead, the knife lay on the grass in a pool of blood right outside the woods. My brother returned after going missing for 4 years. If he really came back, I'm in huge danger because that night I had the knife and I finished the job.
So, a lot to unpack here.
He killed his brother.
He killed his brother.
Killed his brother. Vengeance for all of the cruelty that he had over the last few years.
The question, though, in my mind is, he seemed to remember it the other way. Why was his brother chasing him and not him chasing his brother?
Like his brother dealt violence on him
Right.
when he was younger.
Right.
And he thought when he went away, like that was the happiest day of his life. It was awesome because he didn't have to do it. Yeah. And then when he came back, now it's like reversed.
Yeah.
He's looking for that vengeance because he feels like he's ready to kill his brother. And so he was basically seeing himself as his brother. And so that's why like him being like the chasing, that's him actually chasing his brother.
Right. Because he basically switched roles in his mind. Like he had this probably a much better life afterward. He's like, I need my life to return. My brother. Yeah. So he basically became
his brother.
The brother that he
disassociated from himself. And that's actually something that happens like when some people like there's that in like the law, there's this thing where if it's a like a murder of passion, you actually get less time if it's premeditated. And sometimes in a murder of passion, you disassociate from yourself and your own body. You can even think that you're someone else. So I think this is what happened to this guy.
Wow. Well, I hope this guy's in jail.
Hopefully he's not roaming the streets. Countdown to Halloween, baby.
Ooh.